Welcome back to the last episode. We made it. I am not dead. I still have a voice. This is really freaking surprising. But we are now at Warrior. This is the final class in our Rise of Shadows review preview card valuation thing. Where we tell you the tier list values and a little bit about why and what the class is going to do in the next meta. So, yeah, let's do Warrior. Warrior usually gets insane cards. For a while there, it was explicitly because of Arena. Because of Arena Warrior Matters, you had to make some nice cards for Warrior or they would get to be laughing stocks in the arena. Now with the bucket system, they don't have to do that anymore. They don't even have to do that a little. They can use micro adjust to make things better. So, we're not guaranteed extremely amazing Warrior cards every expansion, and in this one, we don't get any. Remember how we were looking at what Paladin, where the top 9 cards are all not ROS cards? Let's see what Warlock was. Gotta get rid of legendaries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. Top 12 was not ROS cards. For Warrior, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Top 9, just like Paladin. So if you're looking for like classes that are not served well by ROS, you got Warlock way at the top, and then Paladin and Warrior are probably in your second tier. Your best card is the Omega Devastator. It was revealed, people went crazy. It's not that good. Like, it's premium. It's just a normal premium card. 4 mana, 4/5, Battlecry. If you have 10 mana crystals, deal 10 damage to a minion, and it's a mech. Like, yeah, after 10 mana, it gets to be really damn good. But a 146 is normal premium. Like, it's so okay that I would not even nerf this card. And I would nerf so many cards in freaking Hearthstone. So, like, what are you going to do with it, right? It's a Yeti. Do you play it as a Yeti? Yeah, you play it as a Yeti. It's a good Yeti. After Yeti, you probably want to hold it after 4 mana, because if you think the game is going to go on to 10 mana, this is a hard removal, which is way more useful than a Yeti, and you still get a 4/5 out of it at the end. So it's nice. Like, they're probably going to put it in the first bucket. You're probably going to pick it a lot of the times still, even in the first bucket. It's fine. And then after that, your next best card is a 125. And this is kind of out there, okay? We're kind of just rolling with the algorithm on this one. If you ask me, I would not have put it at a 125. I probably would have put it at like a 100, maybe a 110. But we're rolling with the algorithm on this one, and we'll see how it goes. It's really a hard card to visualize just how good the card is, right? Like, you don't really see a lot of this kind of stuff. It is Sweeping Strikes. 2 mana, give a minion, also damages minions next to whomever this attacks. So basically make a Cave Hydra out of any minion for 2 mana in this card. Now, that ability itself is not worth that much. We've seen it on things, and we know it's not worth that much. So why is this a 125? And it's because this card becomes a totally different card. It becomes like a weird version of a Betrayal, followed by what's going on with Cave Hydra the next turn, because you play it on a card with initiative, right? You play it on something that can attack on the turn it's being played out, like some minion that survived, or like something with rush, and then you just deal its attack damage. And so it totally transforms how this card functions. And afterwards, assuming your card survived, then it becomes the Cave Hydra thing. So the Cave Hydra thing is just a bonus. If you're trying to use this card to make better Cave Hydras, you're doing it wrong. You should be using this card as a weird version of Betrayal, where it requires you to have a thing on the board. So it's obviously nowhere near as good as Betrayal. But the Cave Hydra is the backup. So yeah, I don't really know if it's going to be as good as a 125. We're starting it there because the algorithm is there. We'll adjust it. It's literally the #1 card I have my eye on in terms of this algorithm may be wrong. But we'll see. It's also a spell, rare, so it'll be seen plenty. I'm guessing they're not going to super over bucket it. So I think you'll be well served to take a few of these to try it out. You can report back to me on how it goes. But we'll see. I'll definitely be trying it out as well. Like, imagine you have a 4/4 on the board, and your opponent plays, like, I don't know, like 2 minions. You just hit the smaller minion, play a sweeping strike. Your 4/4 lives, it's now a 4/2 or whatever. Both of the opponent's minions are dead in one go. And now your opponent has to deal 2 damage to it. And if they don't, you're going to, like, destroy their stuff. Like, and that's just with a very basic example, right? Of something that could very commonly happen. You can always, like, win huge with it, right? If your opponent, like, spreads out to your giant thing that you can put a sweeping strikes on. Anyway, 123, pretty much just as good, is improve morale. 1 mana, deal 1 damage. If it survives, add a Lackey to your hand. Adding Lackeys is good. If you want to remember how Lackeys happen, the last 5 classes in the alphabet, Priest, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, Warrior, all have Lackey cards. The first 4 all don't. Just interesting. But anyway, this is the Warrior's Lackey card. It's like a weird version of a Slam. It's fine. Does its job. Okay, moving on down. You have some okay-ish warrior cards. Reg Calibre, 4 mana, 3/2. After your hero attacks, shuffle a bomb into the opponent's deck. 4 mana, 3/2 weapons, not the best. But it's still a weapon. And they've taken away so many weapons. If you want to, like, get some idea of how many weapons are remaining in Warrior, the answer is really just, like, not a lot of, like, big weapons, right? You have your Death Spike coming in, and that's it. Your other weapons coming in are, like, Nazata's First Mate. That's a tiny, tiny weapon. And your weapons going out include Super Collider and Saltharaz, which are pretty big, as well as, I'm going to blank on the name. It's the one that's the 2/2. Blood Razor, as well as Blood Razor, which is also huge, right? So the amount of weapons that you have is taking a bit of a hit. So Reg Calibre may not look like much, and in a meta in which you have a ton of weapons, Reg Calibre is going to be crap. But here is actually, like, vaguely okay. Like, if they bucket it low, as they probably will, you may find yourself taking it. Clockwork Goblin, 3 mana, 3/3. Battle Cry, shuffle a bomb into your opponent's deck. When drawn, it explodes for 5 damage. That's what bombs do. I don't know. It's basically 3 mana, 3/3. It's a 105 rating, which is actually pretty high. I thought it'd be much lower, because the 3 mana 3/3 is normally like an 80 or something, like ridiculously low on the tier list. So the fact that it's shuffling a bomb is actually making a pretty damn big difference. That extra 5 damage, you know? Warriors generally do this thing because control warriors don't work anymore, right? That's the whole thing. If you try to figure out why, go listen to the very first video in this series, the meta description. Control warriors aren't going to work anymore. And if control warriors don't work, then you have this, like mixed warrior. It's not even exactly mid-range. You just have to figure out when you have to start throwing your weapons and all your minions to the opponent's face. And before that, you're trying to control the board and edge out a little bit of, like, card advantage and tempo with your weapons and stuff like that. So when you're shuffling bombs into your opponent's decks, not only do you get a future out, but you also have a very good trigger. Like, the bomb explodes, time to go. So yeah, it's RNG, right, of when the bomb is going to explode, but hey, gotta live with it. We are now in Rise of Shadows, just a lot of RNG all over the place, especially with MSG coming back in. Vicious Scrap Hound, 91 rating. This is now getting kind of It's a 2 mana 2/2. It has lifesteal, except instead of stealing life, it steals armor. Like, you just get armor whenever it damages stuff. It's fine, nothing to write home about. And that's kind of it. There's 2 more warrior cards. Don't take either of these. I'm just going to read them out loud for completion's sake. One is Dimensional Ripper, 10 mana. Spell, summon 2 copies of a minion in your deck. You don't get to pick this minion. It's just a random minion in your deck. It's 10 mana for like 2 4/4s, because that's the average size of a minion in your deck. Don't do it. And then it's Dr. Boom's Scheme, which is 4 mana, gain 1 armor. It upgrades each turn. I don't understand how much armor they are really expecting you to gain from this card, but it is so overpriced even by armor gain standards. Anyway, that was rated a 14. Like, even among, like, bad cards, it's really bad. For reference, Public Defender, a 2-mana 0/7 taunt, is rated a 76. Like, we value protecting our face and stuff. Just not. That is so low, jeez. Okay. Anyway, here you have Warrior. As you can see, the Warrior is not like doing too much in this set. So it's just gonna be a normal Warrior. I think people who have been conditioned to play Warrior during the rise of the Warrior in over the course of the past year are gonna find it really weird playing Warrior, because now you gotta play it as a normal mid-rangey kind of Warrior. But that's the Warrior I love. That's the Warrior I fell in love with. It's fun, it's fast-paced, it has a lot of decisions to make, and then they all matter a crap ton. So yeah, I don't think this is necessarily going to be very powerful right out of the gates, because right out of the gates, the Warrior is still being adjusted not as high up as it needs to compete, because it used to have all those control elements, right? Your Dragon Roars are gone, your mech assembly is gone. Yeah, so that's not going to happen. Meanwhile, just in your head, mentally rate like Warpath a little lower than you normally would, because the control option is gone. So your Warpath has to operate in mid-range. Warpath is not bad in mid-range. It's just not like absurdly game-winning. But yeah, so I would say Warrior is going to come in a little bit on the weak side. Paladin's going to come in on the weak side. Warlocks are going to be fine despite getting the worst cards. Yeah, your priests are going to be different, but they're going to be okay. Your rogues are going to be good. Your shamans are going to be a little iffy. I think shamans are going to be with paladins and warriors. They're getting good cards, unlike paladins and warriors, but their like game plan is not really cohesive. And your druids are going to be good. Very cohesive game plan. Your hunters, depending on if they do a micro adjust or not, if they don't do a micro adjust, your hunters are still going to be bad, because they're so bad, like right now. Actually, I don't know. I take that back. In the beginning of every meta, when everything is scrambling, hunters are always good, because people are just like, they don't have tight decks yet. They don't really know exactly how to build stuff to the meta. So hunters are probably okay. Druids are probably good. It's okay. Assuming they don't rebalance the micro adjust, here is my pick for a class tier list. Mods, you can write it in. This is just my prediction. We'll have HS replay stats soon enough, and then they'll update the buckets, and then it'll be all different again. And then they'll micro adjust, and it'll be all different again. So basically, I don't know what's going to happen. But on day one, I predict top classes will be Rogue, Warlock, Druid for good players. Mage. And that is going to be followed by Hunter, Priest. Yeah, Hunter and Priest. And I predict Paladin, Shaman, and Warrior will be at the bottom. Probably Paladin and Shaman will be one step, and Warrior will be really far at the bottom. People in chat are wondering about Priest. They think Priest is going to be insanely good. There's no... Like, the Priest game plan doesn't quite come together, because you can't play control the way everyone thinks you can play control. So you got to play tempo, and that's just not as good as people are thinking. Yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong about Priest. I'm usually not the best person at predicting what the hell's happening with Priest. But I'm also talking about for top players. If you're talking about for average players, I will totally grant you that Priest is one of the best classes, easily. But I think at the top, it's a little too RPS. Just like Shaman. Shaman's going to be pretty good for average players, but it's at the bottomish for my rankings. And Druid's going to be pretty bad for average players, but it's at the top for me. Oh, Magnolf, thank you in chat, reminding me of my Warrior Legendaries. Let's cap this off. Warrior Legendaries, these are the last two cards that we have yet to talk about, and then we would have completed talking about all the cards in Rise of Shadows without merps, under the time limit by a long shot. Ah, feels good. My voice is holding up for now. The Boom Reaver, 90 points, 10 mana, 7/9, Battlecry. Summon a copy of a minion in your deck. Give it Rush. Summon a 4/4-ish. Give it Rush. Woo. It's okay for 10 mana, which is what we have it at, 90. It's like okay. I also don't know why this is a legendary. This is like the most, I don't know, like underwhelming legendary I've seen in a while. Maybe I'm just not seeing its combo potentials in constructed. Anyway, 97, rated a 97, is Blastmaster Boom, a 7 mana 7/7. Hey, not bad. Battlecry, summon 2 1/1 boom bots for each bomb in your opponent's deck. Alright, so you gotta put a lot of bombs in. And then you play this as like Dr. Boom, right? As like Super Dr. Boom. But in the arena, you're probably not going to be putting that many bombs into your opponent's stuff. So this card would probably just be a 7 mana 7/7 with a tiny bit of upside. Yeah, not much to talk about. That's it for all the cards. Just wanted to remind you guys, we talked a lot about classes. The classes all do a lot of different things. I'm really interested to see how it goes because there are so many powerful cards. Remember, besides Paladin and Warlock and Warrior, all the other classes have top level premium legendary, not legendaries, premium class cards being added in ROS. So this is going to be a very impactful expansion. But more than the classes, I want you to remember this guy. This guy is your ticket to winning in week 1. Eccentric Scribe, guaranteed to be underbucketed. Henge Clan Hogsteed, guaranteed to be underbucketed. Dalaran Crusader, maybe not underbucketed, but we'll see. If any of these are not in the first bucket, they are underbucketed. Haunted Creeper, guaranteed to be underbucketed. Those are the neutrals. They'll be the same in every single deck you make, and they are all common, and these 4 cards are your ticket to victory until they rebucket them. And they may not ever rebucket them correctly, because for whatever reason, people, like average players, hate picking death rattles that give 1/1s. I think they just like mentally discount 1/1s as like stuff. So yeah, so these may be always underbucketed. These may define the entire meta for the entire 2 months that we're in it. Welcome to the Scribe meta, the Hogsteed meta, and the Haunted Creeper meta. You thought 1/1s were over because we got rid of all these 1/1 generators. But it's not over. It's back. And there's no Dragon Maul Scorcher to hold them down. That's it for me. This is ADWCTA. Huge shout out to all the mods who are here helping out today. To David Attenborough Says, our YouTube manager who is uploading everything into YouTube right now. And, you know, hopefully if you're watching this on YouTube, it's a product of his work. Thank you to Brand New, who was filling in earlier to doing the cutting and the editing. Also, oh god, shout out to the Lightforge algorithm team who has been working on this for the past 2 weeks. That's how we get these numbers in. They don't just happen. So a huge shout out to that, which includes Merps helping out, even though he's not able to make it here today. And our patrons, of course, our subs and Twitch chat right now. All of you viewers on YouTube, our listeners on the Lightforge podcast. Boy, we have a lot of platforms, and they're not all of the same name. We should fix that at some point. Anyway, thank you, everybody. It's always fun doing one of these. I wish I wasn't sick. I'd be having more fun. And if Merps was here, I'd be having more fun too. But it was still a lot of fun. And I will see you guys on Tuesday, which is when this expansion releases, and I will be streaming. And then on Wednesday is going to be Merps, I think. We'll see. Question mark. But I will be streaming on Wednesday if Merps does not. And then Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. Yeah. So we go back to our old schedule after Saturday because we normally do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And that's how we're gonna kick off this new expansion. ROS. Let's go. Let's get some wins. Let's make some craziness happen. Let's not be too triggered by the rock, paper, scissors and the RNG that goes on. Have a good night, guys. This is ADWCTA signing off.